And speaking without script is about presence, clarity, and connection. It's not just about performing, because when you speak, if you have the script, maybe you can do it all perfect, but you is a real person, and it became real connection with people when you speak.
Don't stress, but breathe. Always remember to breathe in a calm way, because many speakers fail because of stress, not because of the message that they have, but because of the stress. Like Joakim say, use normal situation to practice, but also evaluate afterwards. How did I? Was I nervous? I hesitated a bit, didn't I? Next time I'll just go straight to the point. These kind of things, because evaluation is a massive tool in upping your game. And ask yourself these kind of evaluation questions. What felt real? What energized the room? What worked? And bring that along.
When you tell stories, if you tell to some person, you can look at them and you can see where they lose engagement, when they're not excited anymore. And then you know, okay, what should I do there? This part I have to make better, just to analyze yourself. Welcome everyone. What if we told you that to be a great speaker, you don't need to memorize your word? The key is to be free from scripture and be a great speaker. It's really about something deeper than that. It's about presence and trust in your own voice and in your own message. Whether you're on stage, in a meeting, or just trying to express yourself. We'll show you how to speak from the heart and actually connect with people.
And why is this important? It is because freedom is always good. Being free from your scripture will make you enjoy more. It will make you be more yourself when you're talking. And that's when you can be more humoristic, impulsive, you come up with stories, and your emotions are more contagious. We talked a bit about this in the last episode about being a great storyteller. And if you're able to use the techniques that we will tell you in this episode, you will feel a lot more free and joyful when you're talking, either on the stage or to the people that you know.
And the problem with script is that it disconnects you from the present moment. And more focus on getting it right than connecting. It's so great when you have the script. Me and Annika have worked a lot about this now. We try to be more and more free from script, and we not use so much script anymore. We learn our content and practice about the content we're gonna speak about, and then we just have some keywords and key point how we're gonna go. And it's much better, much more funnier for us to do it in this way, and much better for your listeners also, because it's more talk. Because read from the script, everyone in the world can do.
That is true. So it's more about how you perform it. And you should practice it so well that you will perform it in a real way, because real is always good. And performing something in a real way makes you more trustworthy, and it makes the connection between you and the listeners a lot better. And as we have mentioned in the last episodes now, as the topic has been about these kind of things, is that connection is the importance of communication.
And speaking without script is about presence, clarity, and connection. It's not just about performing. Because when you speak, if you have the script, maybe you can do it all perfect, but you is a real person, and it became real connection with people when you speak. And it's easier to have stories, and then you have the point, and then you have the lessons. Or you can have the hook to hold people here, and then you have the message, and then you have the call to action.
Right. And it is important to know your message, not your lines. So ask yourself, what is the core idea? What do I want them to feel or to do? Because when you know your message, you can freestyle a bit. You can be free, you can tell it with enthusiasm, and the words that just come into your mouth are the ones that will fall out. But the main idea is what sticks, so you will always fall back to that.
An example about this structure is like you have the hook, the attention, then you have the message about the key idea, and you have 1 to 2 supporting points, and then you close with the CTA, call to action. And before you're gonna record something, practice it many times and know where you want to take your listeners. What's the message about this episode, for example, what we're gonna speak about, and repeat it many times without using the same word. You just put down keywords, and that will remind you of the content you have learned, and it's much better, more funny, and easier to speak. It will be hard the first time but when you have done it for a time, it will become very good.
That is for sure. And it is so important that you just calm down. Don't stress, but breathe. Always remember to breathe in a calm way. Because many speakers fail because of stress, not because of the message that they have, but because of the stress. They forget things, they seem very stressed, and the people that listen to them get stressed. So every time you do this, remember to just breathe with your stomach, be calm, because this is a superpower. Wherever you are in a very stressful situation, if you are just grounded, you're right here and now. You breathe slowly, focusing maybe on your stomach just rising and lowering. That is mindfulness. And that keeps you here and now, in this moment. And again and again and again, I will bring back the topic about personal development, because something that's very important to master this is confidence. If you have very bad confidence, you lack self-esteem, you are very insecure, it is difficult to go on stage and trust your abilities to talk in front of a crowd, or stand up on a board meeting at work, or take the word when you are in a group at school, or whatever it is difficult if the self-esteem is not there. So we're holding these topic episodes to make things easier. We give you a lot of techniques that can help you, but always remember that you are the project you need to work on. You have to work on your personal development all the time. And with this comes working on your confidence, working on your identity. Who are you? Because when things are real, they come more easy. So let's say you are very insecure, but your morals are very strong. It is important for you to do the right thing. So focus on working on your confidence, building that back up, because then you can stand up in a crowd and say, hey, this is not okay. Then you stand up for your morals. And that means that you can fulfill your identity more. So I cannot stress this enough. I go back to the personal development all the time, because this is the foundation in you, in your life, and in everything you do. So it is a fulfilling project. You always have to work on yourself. Then these things will come easier. Don't you agree? I was ranting a bit now, but my point, my message is the self-improvement, the continuous personal development. What do you think, Joakim?
Yeah, absolutely. Personal development is the key. Work on yourself, become better on a lot of area that is important, and learn to become comfortable with discomfort.
Right.
Because you have to do it a lot to be better. And when you became better, you became more confident. So you have to push yourself through a tough time for a bit to become better and more confident.
And how can people do that? Because for someone, this is very hard. This is a big step to take. How can you be comfortable with the uncomfortable?
For example, about speaking. If you think it's difficult to speak, you can try to speak in front of your family, in front of your friend. You can practice there. Then you can speak more and more in your work or things like this. And you become better. Fake it until you make it, yeah? Try to and push yourself, and you put yourself on more stress, and you will become better and better. So that's the way I would do it.
Okay, that is very good. That is a good tool, because then you can start in safe environments actually and build from there.
Absolutely. That's the same when I didn't like to post much on social media, and before we start the the 101% podcast. I make a group in Snapchat and in with my family, and I just post things over there, yeah, just to get to know, learn more, and to become more confident and speak in front of camera, because I was uncomfortable with that, yeah. So I put myself in more and more stress, yeah, and I trained myself and I became more confident. And when we started business, I have a lot of training to my closest family, and then I was ready to go out to the public.
I remember you did that, and that was a small group with only us, the closest family members of you. And that's a great way to do it, because it is, what would you call it? It is practice. You just do it, and then it becomes easy. It doesn't matter if the public or the people watching are more. The crowd is bigger because you've done it so many times. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel comfortable, yeah, before I done it. Then I was, okay, I just do it. And you can remind yourself why you do this. The why is a powerful tool to motivate you.
That is very good. And reflect upon how you come across. This goes back to what I mentioned earlier now about personal development. Watch your character, be aware of you, how you come across. And use normal situations to evaluate your performance as well. Like Joakim say, use normal situation to practice, but also evaluate afterwards. How did I? Was I nervous? I hesitated a bit, didn't I? Next time, I'll just go straight to the point. These kind of things, because evaluation is a massive tool in upping your game. And ask yourself these kind of evaluation questions. What felt real? What energized the room? What worked? And bring that along.
And another one, tell real stories. And another thing I think about when you tell stories, if you tell to some person, you can look at them and you can see where they lose engagement when they're not excited anymore. And then you know, okay, what should I do there? This part I have to make better. Just to analyze yourself.
Very true.
This was about storytelling. Yeah, the previous episode we have, episode 66, about how to become a great storytellers. Because the stories is the key. And me and Annika work a lot about that now. And so I recommend, if you haven't heard this episode, go back to episode 66. Because a lot of great content and ways you can learn. And to make our episode better, yeah, we try to be as free from script as possible. And as we mentioned in this episode here, yeah, I think the best thing free from money is that you are more present, yeah. You are more with yourself and you listen more. Because if you have the script, you look at the script all the time and you have to know there. But if not, yeah, I see that we are much more free and I listen even better to the thing you say, Annika. If you tell something or you tell a story and I not need the script, I have full focus. And then it became much better. What do you think?
Definitely. Because you are more present, as you say. And also, the credibility is so much bigger when you talk to someone and they're like, yeah, I'll just check that up. I think, yeah, that was it. And you ask another question. And I'm a bit insecure, so I have to check my notes and find the answer for you. Like, who am I, really? If I have to check up everything you're asking for, I'm not credible. So it is.
Maybe you're freeze, yeah, because this didn't stand in the menus. And no one have write that.
Right, that is so. That is so true, and that's the huge difference. Let's say that I'm going to a lecture at university, and the teacher is holding a great performance, a great lecture. And one question comes from the audience and he has to go in his notes because that wasn't exactly what he said. Then, like, the credibility is gone because, as you said earlier, everyone can learn a scripture. It's not difficult to memorize a script, but it is difficult and to learn a topic. But when you really learn it, it is easy to tell about it. So it doesn't matter. If you get a question, you can answer, and another one, and a discussion. And then you go back to your scripture or your plan, because you don't have to follow it exactly word by word. So the point is that you're a lot more trustworthy if you know what you're talking about. So when you talk about a topic, it doesn't really help you to memorize all the words like this, but you have to know the topic. And I have something to admit, actually, that just came across my mind, because when I have been, of course, I'm from Norway and I know English and I'm learning a little bit of Arabic. I was learning a little bit of Spanish and these kind of things at school. And then I had an exam in Spanish and I had to stand in front of my teacher and tell her about some historical thing that happened in Spain way back in time. And I didn't understand Spanish at all. I didn't like the language because I love learning languages, but we were only learning how to conjugate verbs and it was so boring. So I didn't know a thing, but I memorized the entire scripture. So I was like saying it all. And one question came from her and I was like, and she was repeating what I had just said to kind of help me go back to it. And I had no clue. And I don't know if I've ever felt so stupid because I didn't even know a single question that came my way. So there I failed big time, you know. But if I had learned the topic and learned the confidence a bit more as well, it would help me in the question part of the exam, because that didn't go very well. Oh.
It could have gone, yeah, but when she asked you, your plan failed, yeah.
It failed, but it went all right. Here I am, I got my education, and that's also the thing, like sometimes we fail and that's okay. Now I learned a better way to do things. So of course, if I were to have a language exam again, I would do better. But it doesn't, like, it's not the end of the world if we fail. And I think that is something that really can stress people if you're holding a lecture or speaking on a stage or just in a smaller group. Like, sometimes we're so afraid to fail that we don't even dare to talk. But it's not the end of the world. Let's say that you mess up a bit. Okay, reset, go back and start again. Or just be honest about it. Just be like, okay, now I kind of lost track. So let's go back. We were talking about this and this. Just be real. Because if you follow a scripture, you haven't written every eventuality that might happen. But just be real. Then you are the tool. You will bounce back into your audience in a good way.
Yeah. People don't remember points. They remember you because you're a real person, real story.
Very good point. Yeah.
And to practice, you can, for example, pick a word, coffee, and then you can speak about it for 1 minute. Define it, connect a story to it, and end with a reflection or message. Just as a training exercise to become better without script.
That is very good. And something that's important to think about is that silence is a tool. It gives you time to think, and it gives them space to absorb. So don't be stressed, just calm down and breathe, and sometimes just leave it hanging for a couple of seconds, because this is a powerful tool for both parts.
This episode was recorded on the 8th of May, 2025. In the show note, you will find the link to our infamous homepage, the 101percentpodcast.com, where you can subscribe to our free weekly newsletter, donate to our podcast, and all the information about subscription you need. Take care of yourself and be free from your script and give it your best. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. It is important for us to get out our message so we can help as many people as possible. And we will highly appreciate it if you could take 1 minute of your time to follow us on social media and review the show on Apple Podcast and Spotify. All links are below. Our Instagram is the 101% podcast. Until next time, take care and go 101% into achieving your goals. You owe it to yourself.